Tori,
Hi.
what a day to be talking to my friend.
What a good day. How are you doing, Al?
I am doing good. I'm gonna go. This is something I want to see if it's going to catch on. We're going to see fireworks and going to a barbecue today with friends. First of all,
Oh,
you should go. Do you want us to come get
okay.
you? Yeah, we'll
I'm
come get you.
actually I'm meeting a new
No,
girlfriend that I met. And I don't remember 100% what she looks like.
no, will you
So
bail on them and will you come with your friend today, please? It's gonna be
wait,
barbecue. You could meet a
okay,
real
I'll go with
family
my
here in
friend.
Denver.
Yes, but when she walks in, my thought process is, since I don't remember what she looks like, I'm gonna go like this, Jen, and then whoever looks up, I'm like, head that way.
What if two Jens? That's a common name, Tori. Mike. It's like there's a bunch of people.
Jim.
So wait, so you don't know what this person looks like? It's been that long?
No, when I met her, I was a little under the influence. And
Okay.
we bonded and like bonded in the bathroom. We got each other's numbers, and I'm looking for more community and more girlfriends. So we planned on this dinner, but like in my mind, she has brown hair and glasses. But that's all I got.
I feel like this is what police deal with on Saturday nights when three people were standing right there when a crime happened. They're like, we got three witnesses. Have they had something to drink? Maybe. Let's talk to the first one. Brown. Something was brown. There was a bathroom and it was surrounding me and it scared me. And I
God.
think I saw a guy running. Like, you have no information about this person you're about to meet up with?
No, and she is. I don't know. Julia says when that happens to me, I always just start looking around and then be totally surprised when they waved at me. I think she means. So I'm gonna do one of those.
Well, I'll tell you, Julia, what I kind of had the experience with that I thought was really cool is I did the Boulder Comedy Festival last week, and this guy who I like, this guy named Elliot, I like his comedy, but I didn't remember his name. And he
Okay.
came up to me and he goes, "What's up, Al? My name is Elliot." And I
Oh,
go,
I love it.
"Yeah." And he was like, "I assume people." He was like, "Comics meet a lot of people," and it was so. And as soon as he said it, I was like, "I love your material." And I told him a couple of his jokes, and he was like, "That's so weird that comics remember jokes before names." But
Totally.
yeah, he's got a lot of great jokes. So I kind of like that. But Tori, I am throwing this out there one more time just to put the pressure on you because our colleagues are looking and they want to see solidarity with us. I want you to come to this barbecue with us. It's going to be real people.
I mean, I will definitely invite her. I'll invite her right now.
Yeah, I think she'd come. Yeah. And also, I'm gonna go meet my boy Elliot because he's gonna be hanging my TV because he's a real man. He's also redoing the kitchen. Remember, we were talking about plumbers and electricians. Yeah, guess who I need to come over? I can tell you all the jokes I want. Not gonna get that TV on the wall. You want to see my?
I need a mounted too. I don't know how to do it. I was gonna get a projector. I don't know if anybody has a projector.
I have a projector.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna get that, and some like built-in like floating shelves I was gonna get.
That's exactly what I have. I'll show you what I did.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, I think.
All right, but we have you on record. You're going to this barbecue.
Okay.
What was that? You're such a lawyer's daughter. Okay. Is that a yes?
Yes.
It was something.
I will invite Jen. Yes, because I don't know. Yes, that'll be a great way for me to get to know her. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So there we go. All right. Well, Tori, we got to get right to it because we have a busy day. So I need to know one thing from you. I need to know, what are you so over? Hold on. Let me find it. I got it now. I have to yell at you. Wait. And right before our show started, my mouse died. Oh. And I am so annoyed. Tori. So here we go. All right.
Good job, Al.
Thank you. There's a little condescension in that clap, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh my God. I'm over the big, beautiful bill, which we will get into. Don't you worry, you guys.
I'm like, what?
The big, beautiful bill. But I will definitely say this. I have to make an appointment for the Apple Genius Bar. And can I be honest? I want to just like walk into the store and not have to like meet with a genius.
Yeah. Do you feel like the name's condescending?
I'm over the Genius Bar. Let's just say it.
I'm just surprised they didn't spitball that, because if Genius is just like, oh, you don't know how to turn your $1,200 laptop on? Head to the Genius bar, buddy. It's very like, I don't like that at all.
It's just like
Clearly I'm here because I don't know what I'm doing.
It's not great. So I'm very upset about the Apple Genius bar. So, and I just like, what am I, the idiot coming to the Genius? Like, if there's a lot of like, anyway, what are you over?
I am over. This is going to be the biggest old man complaint I've ever had. I know some colleagues that are family to us that are in the chat right now. We're not going to dig this. I know you guys ride bicycles. I don't like bicyclists on the street when I'm driving, just because I'm thinking about you and I'm so scared I'm going to hit, because you've got scooters to deal with now. You've got Amazon trucks, and you have e-bikes and bike riders and pedestrians on top of the cars. And there's always a lot going on. And I know, God forbid, if something happened, it'd be like, comic kills special needs teacher. And it's like, I wasn't trying. I was just trying to make it right. And it's like, I've lost a close friend that was bicycling, not to be morbid, but I did. Shout out Kenny. You're the man. I love you. And it's just like, bikes on the street just make my dad's spidey senses go up. I know. And I'm going to be that weird dad that's like, no motorcycles, no bikes. Now off in the, you want to go on a path, have at it. But on the street, I don't know, but some people use it to commute. See, I'm kind of arguing with myself here. It is a money saver and healthy and all that kind of stuff. So am I wrong?
No, I hear you. I don't get what a bike. I'll be honest with you. I'm a smart person and I don't always know what's a bike.
The woman headed to the Genius bar.
But I don't understand where the bike path is and if that's my lane. Like, I agree with you. Let's just say I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right. Well, Tori, you kind of teased it, so we're going to have to get to it. Let's start right now. All right. We're talking about bicycles and pedestrians. Now, let's get into it. Colleagues, you knew it was coming. I know everybody's talking about this big, beautiful bill. Tori, you kind of mentioned you're already over it, which let me know that you didn't prep for your segment. So, Tori, talk to us about the big, beautiful bill. Do you want to run through, like, you name one and I'll name one?
Yeah, basically, I wanted to give you guys like a little props and stuff. So I brought these.
Okay. Those look like murder weapons in Clue.
I was thinking that, Al. By the way, Clue is my family movie. What a great movie.
I kind of love that.
All right. So the big, beautiful bill is passed in the House. It's passed in the Senate. The president is apparently going to make this big thing about it. And I just wanted to give you guys a rundown in case you're like, I'm 5 years old, and explain it to me like I'm 5. So I just wanted to say, so they had the number one thing this bill does is a lot of Trump's 2024 presidential campaign promises. So tax cuts, huge for the wealthy. Then we have a crackdown on immigration, huge. A boost in Pentagon spending and a boost in fossil fuel spending. Okay. So all these things are running around. But the way
I feel like I'm arguing with a woman at dinner.
You get me the Brussels sprouts. Okay. But the way that they did this was to cut an enormous amount of health benefits, hospital benefits, and Medicaid. So it will eventually leave about 17 million Americans completely uninsured. And when you cut Medicaid, you cut a lot of Republicans' constituents and their healthcare. So I wanted to start off by saying a lot of Republicans were not for this bill. They were not at all. But we've seen over the time that Trump can get in there and really convince the GOP and that they have no backbone. So he fully convinced the GOP to do this, even though they didn't want to. And now we have this bill, which has maybe given us some more tax cuts, maybe given us some more rich people estate planning, more fossil fuel, more weaponry. But you've cut major, relief for those in need. So things like SNAP benefits, Medicaid again, healthcare, hospitals. So I just wanted to give you guys, they gained this, but they slashed a lot of amazing things for Americans. And it's not a popular opinion. It's not a popular bill. And so it's going to get passed, but the Democrats are calling it the big ugly bill. not great. And they're going to run on it in 2026. So, Al, I just wanted to explain that and tell us what you think.
I think, and I'm sure you were tight on time, so you can't get to everything this bill goes after, but it also goes after teachers, Tori.
Yes.
They already earmarked and delayed any funds that were already marked for schools that were supposed to go out on the 1st. They've already quarantined those funds. So teachers that had programs like English as a second language. I used to volunteer at the library and teach English as a second language when I was in Providence, Rhode Island. And it was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had, just seeing how like hard these young people would work to learn. And when I say young people, they were in their early 20s, some mid 20s, because English is, not to get off on a tangent, is a difficult language to learn. I remember I was trying to tell this girl, teach this girl what the word run meant. And I looked it up and there's 78 definitions for run. So the people that want to be a part of this country, the people that are willing to drive around listening to English on tape and learn our history so that they can pass the citizenship test, that's who it goes after. It goes after them. It goes after kids in after school programs, which really do the job of watching people's children while they're still at work.
Right.
Very few people have kids in an after school program when they're at home watching television. Yeah. I will say this, Tori, I am so sick and tired of this being presented as a way to cut the fat. And they always have this imaginary person. Look, a 29-year-old guy that's at home getting free Medicaid. First of all, you don't get money for Medicaid. So this guy, this imaginary person is playing video games in the basement. You're telling me he doesn't care about working, but he definitely wants full health benefits? That kind of person does not exist. This is for people that have trouble getting up and out of bed in the morning. Dignified people that have trouble showering by themselves, have trouble remembering to cook well. I think about my Uncle Ben, quite frankly, who lives with my mother. And without her aid, I don't know how he would take care of himself. And it probably would be a Medicaid home health care worker. But those people are now under attack. Our schools, our classes that taught English as a second language to students has also been eroded. So that means that the party that said that English is a primary language is now making it impossible for the people in this country to learn that primary language. And I know think about brown people, but as somebody that taught in Miami, my classroom looked like a Benetton ad. Yeah. I had kids from Amsterdam. I had kids from all over France, everywhere. And everybody's trying to learn English because they want to be a part of this country. And when you attack our schools, you attack our elderly who during their heyday paid into this program, they bought into the system that we were told that like you do work for 50 years as a teacher, engineer, cop, asphalt layer, whatever you do, and we got your back.
Yeah, it's a lie.
We got your back when your back doesn't work anymore. And here we are.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can't can I ask you this, Tori?
Yeah, and several senators out were like, this will never pass. Republicans from like New York, and then they had these closed door meetings with Trump, and they all caved. Like, there's no backbone, there's no cojones, there's no sense that like the loyalty to Trump, be all and end all, can stop. Julia says, my son is a teacher. He's already spent a tremendous amount of his own money for his classes. Now they're piling on more students because of budget cuts, and all to get this fork you know what I mean? To give rich people what they want. And it's so annoying because they're slashing. Is everyone good with my prop use? I feel like no one's saying that.
Yeah, but you're using the same prop to represent several different things.
No, this is the tax breaks and all the things that they're gaining, but they're cutting the hospitals, the SNAP benefits, the Medicaid, and it's scaring all these other people. And it's a real fork you.
It is you worked on fork you, and I like it. I like the effort. No, it's good. Now we can put the cutlery away.
I'm done with the cutlery.
To Julia's point, my nephew Josh, who lives in the southwestern United States, I don't want to say anything more, but he is a teacher, and every year I've sent a couple $100 for him to decorate his classroom. As if teachers are already not living thin enough. You have to ask them to ask their friends so they can put things up around their classroom, like learning is fun.
Yeah. You know what Colbert did that made me love Stephen Colbert? I don't know if you guys know this, but he's from South Carolina. And one day he paid for the entire South Carolina's teachers' gift list on Amazon for every single teacher.
Awesome.
And he just paid it all. And I was like, Colbert, that's really good. People seem to like the props. Okay, I will do more prop work.
Oh, see, I hope you guys see what you did. I tried to get you out of it and you guys begged for it. So whatever she breaks out next, you're going to have to roll with it.
That's right.
All
ELC says props to Tori. So thank you. Thank you.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about with the big, beautiful bill? I assume we're going to be talking about this a lot moving forward.
Yes.
So
and just know also that you will start to hear about the big ugly bill from the Democrats, like I said, for 2026. Could they not have thought of something better than the big ugly bill? Come
Tori,
on.
This is what I said, and this is less to do with the big, beautiful bill and more to do with why we're having this horrible conversation right now when I could just be making fun of my friend and their cutlery. It's because, I'm sorry, the Democrats are super whack.
They're whack.
They're not like people you want to get. Look, I'm not a Marjorie Taylor Greene fan, but if you are a person that gravitates towards I don't know, whatever she represents, at least she's got some fight. She's down there making a scene and like being horrible, but she's being horrible on behalf of her constituents. And where are the Democrats that just like, they should have been on this podcast. Hey, every podcast they could do, we just want to let people know this is what's in that bill. Hire a couple rappers, make some fancy hooks. Stop having Chuck Schumer like, this bill is whack, and that's no potato sack, Jack. You guys need to get younger people on board.
You're right. We're in no malarkey. Remember that bus? We're like,
malarkey.
No, we've got to update it. And you said podcasts. Several of the senators that are very famous and high-ranking Democrats don't know how to like turn on a podcast, let alone get on a podcast. Like we 1,000% just need a different generation in Congress. And we both have agreed on that. I think we need the school shooting generation when we deal. I think we need those types of people. So,
well, that was the thing. The Democrats dismissed David Hogg.
I know they did.
Do you understand the fissure that creates with the young people that are going to be powering this next generation? And that's why I'm like, it really makes me wonder if the Democrats are the Washington Generals. They just show up to lose. They lost abortion. They lost Social Security. They lost the big, beautiful bill. They lost the Voting Rights Act. They just show up, get their pants pulled down. Somebody throws a bucket of glitter in their face and dunks on them. And they say, well, some black dude's going to talk for 9 hours. What's that going to do?
I know.
Tori,
Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, he spoke for about 8 hours and they said he roused the crowd. I don't care if you rouse the dead. Get some like things done in Congress, or at least have some backbone to go after. Like, I don't know. I'm just so frustrated.
I'll just say this. When you're really communicating with people, with regular people, with normal people like us, you don't need 8 hours. You say something that makes sense and say it in 30 seconds. Yeah. And it's a lot. I told you that's why I love my my homeboy John, because he's so brilliant, because he just says very complex things simple. And I remember before he was married, I was like, oh, are you going to marry your girl? And he goes, I don't know. Your girlfriend's just your girlfriend that you tell the government about. And I was like, that's kind of what it is. They're tax breaks, but it is. You're just telling like City Hall, like, yo, this is my girl. It's a very interesting, but it's just like, I wish there were more Democrats
who would go on Fox News. Let's start with that. Sorry.
Like Pete Buttigieg does and does very well. I think Zoran will, if they'll allow him.
Johnny will, yeah. So that's where we think
the Democrats don't like him either, Tor.
No, they don't.
So it just seems like they're comfortable losing. But you know what? All we can do is continue to fight the good fight. There's always new blood coming in, and we are seeing the Jasmine Crockett's come. AOC is there. Maxwell Frost, Pete Buttigieg is a G. So like we do have some young voices in the party. So let's just hope, and Shelly says talk is cheap. I agree with that, but it seems like the Republican talk work because they talk to the right people. If you think about it, they want to get at young, disaffected white males. They go on Joe Rogan. The guy that owns the UFC is very
Dana White, is that him?
Dana White, yes.
Yeah.
He's very, I think he spoke at the at Trump's inauguration or at the RNC. These people have the ear of all of these of their target demographic. Can the Democrats figure out where some people that might vote for them are hanging?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So yes.
He says, give Tori a piece of steak. Yum.
I am totally down with that. Okay.
I'm kind of into this knife. No, I'm just kidding.
I know you're scaring me now. Tori, last question. Do you think this will bankrupt America? I mean, it's a big question, but 150 billion in defense spending. I don't know when we've been attacked. Last I can remember is 2001.
Yeah, I just I don't think it'll bankrupt it. I think they just will cut very precious things, and that somehow there's no consequences in these Republicans' minds. And somehow they don't think that their constituents will have real genuine issues and that they might not get voted in again. It's all loyalty to Trump, which reminds me of like World War II Gestapo stuff. I mean, it really is so like anything for him, anything for him. Oh God.
Well, God. I think it kind of leads into our next story with what I was going to I think that the Republican senators, Congress people, they know that there are certain issues that are just red meat to their base, Tori.
Yeah.
And so they'll go, even if they go get a finger in his face, you cut my SNAP benefits, my husband got fired because of Doge. All they have to do is go, like we're about to, trans athletes. And they're like, what?
I call it the shiny object. Shiny object.
And it's just like, so
shiny
Tori,
object.
Do you have the particulars on the trans athlete story? While you're do you have that in front of you?
I kind of do. I know
that SCOTUS is going after trans athletes. Yes.
They're not going after. Basically, we're finally going to hear the end result, which is, by the way, so few people in college are dealing with this. It is such a small.
I think it's in the single digits.
I think it's 10 people, maybe 11, Al, or even less. I mean, it's so few that it's ridiculous. But they have made this shiny object. They're coming for you. They're going to hurt your athletes. They're going to take your scholarships away. So it has gone all the way up into what I like to call is Trump's SCOTUS, since they all feel like they have loyalty to Trump. Now, it could have gone to the states, but it's going up to SCOTUS, and they will make the final decision about it and decide if it's constitutional. And if you guys don't know, this is the 14th Amendment, and on it, it says the Equal Protection Clause. You can't restrict versus on your sex, on your race, on your religion, and it trickles down all the way into every state. So the Supreme Court is going to ask, if you ban trans athletes, are you being unconstitutional about that Equal Protection Clause? Does that go against the 14th Amendment, which really brings the equal protection down to the states? So you know what? It's got to go to SCOTUS at some point. It's got to have an end at some point. Do I think they're going to vote for what Trump wants? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, again, because I remember when we were doing all these stories about trans swimmers and all, I remember asking myself, for all these people making such a big fuss, can you name one swimmer besides Michael Phelps, who retired 16 years ago?
Ledecky. Is there anybody else?
I think outside of the Olympics, people don't know any swimmers. Right. And that, that's no shade to them. It's just like, it's not a really public sport like that. But it's amazing how such a niche sport can galvanize and tilt an election.
Yes.
That would be like the Democrats proposing something, a rule change in field hockey.
Yeah,
and it gets somebody into the I will say this on behalf of the Democrats and their continuation to do nothing. I think that Democrats are harder to get a hold of in terms of there are people that don't like the way Israel-Palestine is being dealt with. There are people that are conservative Democrats where they're like, they don't mind gay marriage, but they don't want sex ed taught in schools. They're almost libertarian. There's a lot of different kinds of Democrats, and this is no shade to Republicans. It's a fact, and it helps them move forward. They move as one organism.
Yeah.
Trump says this, and it's done.
The
And
problem, right? I agree with you. But what happens when Trump's out? There's no leader. No one's that's what I wonder about. Because you're right. Whatever Trump, he's the head. Whatever he looks, the whole body goes, no matter what. But
right.
once the head's gone out, what does the body do? Then you just have MTG screaming.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I hope from your lips, Tor, to
Yeah.
God's ears. But I think what Trump is doing is he is carving out a space. So after he's gone, there will be a power vacuum that will be assumed by his closest people, JD Vance, his sons, to a certain extent. But I think what he is doing is he is going to make the power gap so vast that it won't matter if there's not a Trump to be there. P. Wilder saying, what do you think the Democrats can do? Please tell us. P. Wilder, I think the message, if you think about how, who was the black woman in Atlanta about 8 years ago yes, when Stacey Abrams ran, just like Zoe ran in New York, he was knocking, I think they said he knocked on 1.2 million doors in New York. Stacey Abrams, a much bigger landmass in Georgia, did the same thing. There are ways, just like there was a way to communicate with the targeted Trump voters through WWE with Vince McMahon, through UFC with Dana White, through podcasts with Joe Rogan. There are also ways to communicate with Democrats. What podcasts are popular?
Right.
Ask your niece.
Yeah.
What is SZA doing? Right. What is Ice Spice doing? You might not want to tie your boat to that buoy. I don't know if any of those were correct. Do you tie
nautical metaphor?
I think boats should not be tied to buoys because they tend not to be that stable. But if you think about it, Jake Paul very famously pro-Trump, Andrew Schultz pro-Trump. How do I know this? I don't watch their shows. I don't follow their content, but I see them enough to know where they stand. So the Democrats need to figure out who are the people that really have their finger on the pulse of the generation now and moving forward. And
may I add, I just have to add to P. Wilder, they absolutely need to elect and put money into younger candidates. We have to have younger candidates. And right now the Democrats block it. And Republicans are interested in all kinds of weird candidates. They know that it makes news. So we have to open up the congressional aptitude for younger people. It has to happen. Right now it is the old school, the Pelosi's, the Schumers. They're too old. Not only do they not have a pulse on what's going on, some of them don't have a pulse.
Yeah, that was good. And for anybody that says that's ageist, no, we saw Diane Feinstein. She died in the chair.
It was bad.
It was really bad. And she was impaired for her last few years. And I think it kind of goes back to my point about how Republicans move as a unit. There's no Republican that's not going to give up their seat. We saw what happened with Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she didn't want to step down. And by the time she passed away, there was a Republican president. We've seen Chuck Schumer refuse to give the reins over. Nancy Pelosi refused to give the reins over. Whereas with Republicans, and this is something that I applaud them for, if Trump goes, hey, Republican senator from this place, you need to step down, they will be like, thought you'd never ask.
They immediately do it. And they all are scared of the almighty father of Trump. And so we don't have someone like that. We just don't have the power. So we are not politicking well. To Pete Wilder, we are not messaging well. We are not getting the right people, and we are not messaging like they are. Because this bill is not popular.
Not be able to beat this bill, Tori.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This isn't like, well, there's good things and bad things. It's just like,
it's unpopular.
Yeah, I want to vote that we don't have dinner anymore for 2025. You can't get a message out that says I might be opposed to that. Yeah, they're just like, well, they said it. I don't know. We'll just have a late lunch.
Apparently, there was a lot of private meetings with Trump for those types of senators that had major issues with the bill, and they all went with him. So
you saw and loyalty. Was it Lisa Murkowski coming out of there after she cast a vote that destroyed her base, and you saw her face?
She's the worst.
It was, I'm not feeling sorry for her, but it's like she knew she had done something really bad. And there's a point that I wonder with all of us, is there something that you like just won't back down from? Like, do you have any backbone? Like she knows Tori what that's going to do to the people in her state.
Yeah,
she knows. Yeah, and she still did, and her face looked like when you're coming out of a triple X naughty store and you run into your old high school principal and you're like, hey, sup? Like she just looked.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, very disappointed. All right, Tori. Well, let's keep it moving with something that will always keep you moving. Do you know what that is, Tori? As I look for it, do you know what it is?
Keep you moving. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, Spider. What's up, Spider? Moving in storage. They personally, Tori, helped your boy out when I needed it most. I love Vlad and Vlad. It reminds me of this is my brother Daryl.
And my other brother Daryl?
Yes. From Newhart.
Yeah. So there's two Vlads, we think.
There's two Vlads. And they both say it like, I was like, what's your name? He was like, Vlad. And I was like, what's your name? He goes, his name's Vlad too. He answered for the other Vlad. I was like, all right, I am officially down with these guys. They are not messing around. They're not going to be scrolling on their phone. They're going to come. They're going to get the job done, and tell them that your friends from work sent you. All right. We love our sponsors. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting the Spider. And, with that, let's keep it moving, Tor.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, I'm trying to recruit you from, I'm not moving that. Nope. That's what I'm going to do when I don't like something you're saying. Just start talking to me about something I don't want to hear.
So we do need to talk to you about your car warranty.
I'm sorry, what?
That's so rude.
Okay. I'm so ridiculous. Okay. So, Tori, the 4th is here almost. I'm already trying to recruit you to a pre-4th of July party. There've been a ton of polls out, Tor, saying that people are not feeling patriotic, not feeling a part of this bill, which Trump will sign Friday at 5:00. That used to be for happy hour. Now that is when the shadiest ish in the world goes down.
In
DC,
my God. In DC, Friday at 5 is when bad things get slipped into the news cycle. So you always are looking at Friday at 5. But I do think it's important to think, and I'd love to ask our chat and Al, who do you think is free in America? Land of the free, as we have on our banner here, but for who? So like, who is getting freer? Who is more comfortable in this country? Who is moving around more freely? And I'd love to hear from the chat what you guys think. I clearly think it's the upper class. I think that's what they care about. But someone said something before, because I really appreciated it, that here, All Eyes on Mimi 305 says they don't even care about their own constituents. They only care about power and money from them. And of course, the billionaires and millionaires. It's the constituents that are getting screwed. Those are the ones that aren't winning. So I don't know, land of the free, it feels like for maybe people in power, but for the rest of us, what do you think?
Are you ready for maybe not so popular opinion that I wish I didn't have?
Yes.
I think the constituents, as we've seen time and time again, they will stand on business for a few things. We saw that during Trump's first term when they tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, and people didn't realize that and Obamacare were the same thing. And so that was the first time we saw angry town halls. And that was the first time I think Republican senators had been yelled at since they were 4 or 5 years old. And they just stood there like, I don't know what to do. I wonder, because we keep going, no, they're voting against their interests. They're voting against their interests. But aren't we infantilizing them? Maybe this is their interest. Maybe seeing people rounded up at church, at Home Depot, at graduations is satisfying to them. We saw the idea of alligator Alcatraz be introduced. Who do you think is going to be there? A bunch of white collar criminals? That's for migrants that they have deemed not worthy of due process. So like the same people that would vote for anybody that would even suggest, like, Tori, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a jail, and then we're going to have a moat with alligators. You'd be like, are you on mushrooms right now? That's an insane thing. It's a very 1800s, 1500s-ish way to think about things. And we keep saying they're voting against their own interests, but they keep voting this way. So maybe we need to reevaluate what their interests are.
Well, I say let them eat cake. And speaking of eating cake, let's move on to hot dog.
All right. Well, Tori, we're not moving anywhere until we do one of these. Come on.
That's my
Okay.
favorite one. Oh god,
All
that's so
right.
good.
So, Tori, now you said you love hot dogs.
I do.
And that's why people listen for hard-hitting commentary like that. I would have never expected this obscure food, but no, I like a good hot dog too. Really quickly, how do you like it prepared? Do you like it grilled?
I like it. Oh, I don't really care, microwave or whatever. I do prefer a Hebrew national. I'm a Jew, but even if you're not a Jew, that's a better hot dog. And I do like it with ketchup. Sorry, Chicago, mustard, relish, and onions. I'm a full give me all the toppings.
I think I'm kind of here for that.
And does it say plate cleanser? No, I think it says palate cleanser.
Does it say plate? Hold on.
It says palate.
Oh no. Okay, we're okay.
So in Chicago, you can't have any ketchup on your dog. And I understand that's like a really big deal. I'm a ketchup girl. So what do you take on your ketchup? I mean, your hot dog. And then we'll talk about Joey Chestnut coming back.
Okay, because I wanted to know from our colleagues, is this bad fare? But I get a hot dog and I get a hamburger every time I go up. I'm about diversity in this world, Tori. I do not discriminate. And I'm not making 2 trips. Is that shameful? Because Tori and I both, whenever we do a benefit, we overload our plates because we walk around like poor kids our whole lives. We're like, hey, you can, if you put that in a napkin, you can take those chicken fingers in your back pocket.
I put it down my dress.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, God.
So I'm taking a hot dog and a hamburger and I'm eating them back to back. And I don't do a lot of toppings on my hot dog or hamburger. I'll do cheese and maybe onions, maybe pickles, because I feel like the taste of the charbroiled hot dog and hamburger, it's a taste you can't get anywhere else. So I don't want to damper it with other liquids like ketchup. You can get ketchup anywhere.
I need a lot of toppings. I do want to ask everyone here. Oh, the Costco hot dog deal is amazing, and it never changes. It's like always 99 cents. But
I would argue that hot dog deal at Costco is one of the most popular things in America.
I know.
It crosses over age, race, religion, gender, sex, everybody. Yes.
Everybody. Michael Dean, how many hot dogs do we think, if you could write in, Joey Chestnut is supposed to eat? Now, I know that he dunks it in the water, which
it's so gross. All right. Well, Tori, while Michael Dean is giving us the answer, give us yours really quickly.
Okay, so he ate 83 last year. I think he goes to 92. Thoughts?
That's a lot.
So many.
I think he's gonna go to 87 because he had, I assuming he had to retire because his doctor was like, I'm gonna fight you if you do one more of these. There's a point. Did I ever tell you when I was writing on the Shaq show, I was working with a guy that was a competitive eater?
It's like, oh no.
We went to the ale house because anybody that's in Florida knows there's ale houses everywhere when the show wrapped for season 1. And I remember he was just talking to me, but we had chicken wings and he dismantled this. It was like watching a professional work around a car as opposed to me or you. Were like, he just took this chicken wing apart. And I mean, he was just kind of like a regular guy that did it. But Joey Chestnut, that's what he's known for. He's got to get his title back.
I know, just like really clearly, I just want to state this. Sorry to be a bummer, but like talk about America. I think someone else said this. Who is this beautiful person? Just Me's Fun Hub. It's true. Like, what if talk about overconsumption of terrible food? Like, doesn't this sum up and as fast as possible? I'm reading Dopamine Nation, and it's all about like overconsumption, and it's like how many horrible sticks of meat samples can you fit in your mouth? Like, oh my God. It's terrible.
And I totally agree with that. This is what, because I've had I've had thoughts about traditions like this that on their face are gross and just everything that's wrong. My only pushback, and this is what I tell myself, I don't know how you feel about it, Tortor. We have to have some traditions that bind us.
Well, this will bind you up.
Yeah, bind you up as well. But yeah, it's like, if you think about it, if we don't, everybody's like, oh, pro sports, you're just cheering for a bunch of rich millionaires in New Jersey. We need things to bring us together. I don't know you don't know me, but we both cheer for the Phoenix Suns. That way society can function. You need to keep reminding people we like each other.
Are you saying
And
that Joey Chestnut is like a national treasure?
the hot dog eating contest is something that most people have heard of.
Yeah.
And I think like it's hard to like take that away or change it, because every time they try and introduce, I mean, I feel like Earth Day is still like on iffy ground, no pun intended. So and that's been around for what, 30 years?
Oh my God. So some people are saying, what could you eat fast and a lot of? And Just Me just said ramen noodles. That's brilliant. I could
But
eat.
wouldn't the noodles get stuck in your throat?
No, you take those down, baby.
Oh
You
yeah,
take
no one
those
could choke
down.
doing what you just did. That's almost literally the sound for choking what you just made.
So sorry.
That's such a
All
bad
eyes on
idea.
me. On Mimi says, why does Joey dip the hot dogs in water? Because he wants them to go down faster and they are softer. So he literally can just go goop and like a full bun can go down. I'm
Yeah,
so sick of that
I
visual.
can't even look at that.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm things that I could eat a lot of quickly, honestly, Tora, I'm gonna go with Wendy's nuggets.
Nice.
I can just pop them. There's no
Okay.
shame.
Okay.
Just me in the back of a car eating Wendy's nuggets and a spicy chicken sandwich. It's like
Why are you in the back of a car?
Oh, I guess in my vision you were driving.
Okay.
It's like a reverse driving Miss Daisy, and people are like, what's happening back there? Let me see. I would rather watch that than the other Miss Daisy. That's a movie that no one's ever been like. Driving Miss Daisy is one of those weird movies because we admit that it was made, it won awards, and maybe it was of its time, but it's one of those movies where, you know, you get back from the bar, you go, hey, welcome to my place, Tori. I got wine over there. Let's pop on a movie. What do you want to watch? Independence Day. Driving Miss Daisy. Like that. It's a weird movie to request to rewatch.
It's right. You're right. It's very weird. You're right.
It's a movie no one would ever watch again. But
that's
maybe
true.
I'm wrong. All right. So Tori, let's get to this next bit of sports news. Hold on. Here it comes. I like this one. I know you do too.
Love that one. I love that one.
Tori, we're talking Venus Williams. Talk to the people.
Oh my God. Okay. So we have to start in the back. Okay. We're using the knife again.
Okay.
So no, we're not. I'm just
thank you for putting that down on behalf of all the colleagues. You never want to see somebody do a 360 with a knife using both hands.
I'm just angry. No, I'm kidding. Here's what I'm angry about. So let's just start with this. Black women have a much higher mortality rate when they get pregnant. And Serena Williams famously had a pregnancy in which she had high blood pressure, she had clots, and as she was delivering, she said, I think I'm having a problem. I think I'm having an embolism. I believe it was an embolism. And everyone said, you're fine. You're fine. And she said, no, I really think there's something wrong. You're fine. You're fine. And then she did. And she almost died. And they had to go into emergency surgery for Serena Williams. So if you think as a woman of color in this country and you're not Serena Williams, try getting the doctors to listen to you then. So Venus, her very famous sister, has just come out and said that her doctors completely ignored her fibroids situation. Now, Venus was, I'm sorry to be crass but this is what happens. She was bleeding like uncontrollably for every period. She was bleeding terribly. She had immense pain. Okay. And the doctors who knew that she had fibroids were like, it's just natural birth control. This is what happens. And she has come out and opened up about it. And I am so proud of the Williams sisters for being advocates, for being voices for those who don't have power, to say, hold up. The advocacy for people, and especially women of color, is so out of whack, especially for reproductive rights. It is unparalleled in other parts of the world. I mean, Americans.
Access to pain medication.
Yes.
My adopted sister that I met, I can't even say recently anymore. She's been in my life for a while now. It makes me happy. She went around the country for years teaching and talking to Black women about advocating for themselves in the healthcare space. It's very scary, like you said, Tori, that it's somebody as famous as Serena and Venus Williams, because you could make the argument that internationally they're the most famous Black women on the planet.
I would
that
assume.
argument could be made. Maybe Beyonce, maybe Rihanna, but they're in that iCloud. And the fact that their doctor is just kind of like, what do you know about your body? I mean, you're both world-class athletes that'll have statues of you all over the world,
Right.
but I went to Emory. Like, how do you not listen
Right.
to these? It's
especially, as you said, Al, athletes that know their bodies well. It's not just like anybody. Like, I would trust Venus Williams to tell me something's wrong because she knows intimately everything about when something goes wrong with her body.
she used that vehicle to make an impact on the world, and you're telling her, yeah, but you don't understand this thing about you that's happening currently in real time. Tori, I don't get it. I just hope that I remember in Michael Dean is saying Venus played through all that pain. Don't forget when Serena wore the full bodysuit because she was worried about getting blood clots. People questioned whether that uniform was like up to code.
Acceptable.
It's like no matter what you do, I'm trying not to drop dead on the court. They're like, we're gonna have to look at the rule book.
Yeah.
Miss me with that. So
and very quickly, Just Me's Fun Hub says this is a topic that I, as a white male, have no right to comment on. I slightly want to push back. And I just want to say that, like, I'm a white woman and I'm going to vehemently stand up for Black women and people of color who have no voice, because I think it's not spoken enough about. I think it's not advocated enough about. And I think we're embarrassing to the global community. So I know Erica Cobb, who is also on Daytime Talk After Dark, it was important to her to find a reproductive specialist, an OBGYN that was Black, that dealt with Black women, that understood that was sensitive to that. So, All Eyes and Mimi says, dare I say it, Black women, we face medical racism very often in healthcare. And when I think of Black men, I go right to Tuskegee, Al, and it's just history in our medical background that women not only were not medically tested, they were not, the medical tests were only done on men, and Black women, I think, have to be the last to have medical tests, have medical treatment done to them in a fair and advocated way. So I just want to say, be an ally if you can. Be an ally and spread the word. Spread the word.
I think that's when things start changing.
Yeah.
What was the gentleman that said that? That said, as a white,
I think it was just me.
Oh, just me. I'll kind of take your situation and apply it to me. At first, I felt the way you did when we were talking about Me Too. I was like, this is not my issue. I need to sit back and listen. But as I listened and my jaw hit the floor, as all these women I love and respect were telling me things that were said to them at work, and like things that happened their first day at work, their coach did, and you're just like, wait, how have we known each other that long where you haven't even mentioned that to me? It's because things happen so much at work that's not even notable.
Totally.
And so, he's okay. And Just Me's clarifying. He said, I don't think that men have any right to comment on women's health issues. Just be silent and supportive. I think that's a stance too. I think
totally
that's
agree.
a stance too.
Fine. But just to be knowledgeable about it, and I'm glad we're sharing this, is important to know, because the gap is enormous. And so just stand up for Black women. Stand up if you can, because they need it.
All right, Tori. Well, we're going to talk about something that I'm a little worried that you might stand up and go to. But do you know what it means? It means we get a chance to use a new icon. Are you ready?
Here we go. That's
all right.
Really good.
The world of travel is opening if you want to go to a site of a mass death event. What in the MFNS? That is insane.
Okay. So Jonestown is now opening up to tourists. So weird to say. If you don't know, Jonestown was basically a cult with a leader, and they
Jim Jones, correct?
Jones, that's correct. And when they all got in a big gathering, and they had family and babies, and I mean hundreds of people, men and women, and the government was going to come after them, I don't know if you know this, poisoned with, I believe, cyanide, the Kool-Aid that they all had to drink that day. And he said, the government's coming to take us. drink the Kool-Aid. So that's where the phrase comes from, drink the Kool-Aid, drink the Kool-Aid. And it's on tape, and I've heard the tape, and it is horrifying. And Jim Jones is saying, go ahead, take this Kool-Aid, drink up, mothers, drink up with your babies, drink up, dads, drink up with your babies. And as they're drinking, they're dying. They are dying by the hundreds. So I think like 5 to 10 people escaped Jonestown, but it was a massacre of just dead, poisoned bodies all over. Now 900 people died. That is, thank you, Michael Dean, 900. Now they're opening that up for Funtown. So
now, here's a question, Tori. Is there any doubt in your mind that this won't be packed? Because I think this is going to be packed. There are murder conventions. There are true crime conventions. Are you telling me that people aren't going to flock down here by the thousands? How many TikTokers would be? I'm here at Jonestown, and I can feel there's an eerie feeling around here.
Like podcasts.
Yes. Remember when those podcasts were going to Chernobyl?
I was just thinking of Fukushima, of Chernobyl, and also of the Fukushima, excuse me. Now, Japan is offering money for you to go visit, to go see the sights of Japan. And as someone said, Ravens fan, I'd rather go to Japan. Take me along with you, Ravens fan. A travel partner right here. Anywho, I don't get it. It's very dark, but I guess it's part of history. I don't know. I find it super, super weird.
I think there's just a lot of people that have morbid curiosities.
Yeah, like Area 51 people go to.
Right. Well, there's a morbid curiosity, and Area 51 at least presents to people the unknown.
Yeah.
The government is hiding something.
Right. This is just like.
Yeah, but there are people that are curious about death. I think it's this thing that's in all of our lives, and none of us think about it or we talk about it, but we know it's omnipresent. So I think that, what do you think is the psychological profile of somebody that likes true crime? Because I don't think they're necessarily bad people. I think they're probably people that would never consider actually doing a true crime. I think it's just something you were into.
Yeah,
no different than you could be into reenacting the Civil War or bird watching.
That's true. Yeah, Gettysburg was a scene of death, and people go see there. But Julia's saying they made Auschwitz a tourist place. I do want to be clear about
Anne
that.
Frank's house.
And what?
Anne Frank's house.
And I've been to Anne Frank's house. I do want to be clear about that. A lot of people didn't think the Holocaust was real and still have deniers. And I know that, for instance, Dwight Eisenhower went over, took pictures, and said, for anyone, they said, why'd you go over and see the camps after it was over? And he was saying, for anyone who didn't believe that they were real, I wanted to be in photographic evidence that it was. I think Auschwitz is more there to show us the past and the history so as not to repeat it, and maybe for Jewish families to come and see their ancestors. So to me, there's a difference there in like the meaning behind the tourist part of Auschwitz. Jonestown has no quality to it that would help teach, other than like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know.
I mean, it is as morbid as it is a historical place. So that'll be enough to get people to go there. So I think we are both in agreement that place is going to be packed, and it's weird, but it doesn't make it any less true. And with that, Tori, we're going to, I think we just did Jonestown. You mentioned Auschwitz. We're going to do one of these. And then I'm going to hit you with this one.
These are great, Al.
We're talking about ChuckECheese pizza.
ChuckECheese, whose mascot is a rat.
It is. I'm going to say this. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I know I haven't told the colleagues this. Obviously, being a comic, stay-at-home dad. So you got to kill time in the afternoon. So when Elijah was young, Ford was real young, we would go to ChuckECheese, and we lived closer to the one in Inglewood near the airport at LAX. It was a place.
Oh, God.
And Tori, I swear on my children and my family, at one point, because ChuckECheese comes out every 15 and 45 minutes.
There's like a man in there?
Yes. And he came out, and he's got tickets for the kids to redeem for candy and stuffed animals. I swear the ChuckECheese in Inglewood, California, stood in front of all these kids, like clamoring around him like a rock star, and started doing like this with the tickets, like dollar bills. And the kids were eating it up. And I went and grabbed Elijah, like, you are not taking a part in this nonsense. But
Make it
rain. It was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. But
oh my God.
I actually think this might be an interesting story because ChuckECheese, all grown up now. This isn't, this isn't the place where your child gets fanned with tickets. This is for adults. So this is like a one-up or an adult arcade where I'm assuming you'll be able to get beer and play nostalgic video games. Tori, do you think that this will work? And would you go?
Yes. We all need that third space that we've talked about a lot. There aren't many. If you're not a drinker, this could be a fun thing to do as an arcade. But I think they should call it ChuckECheese for kids, Charles Cheese for adults.
Charles E.G.
Chucky, like the grown-up name. Yeah, it reminds me of Dave and Buster's, which is like a big deal. I think it's going to totally work. But I've never been to a ChuckECheese because my mom didn't want to go to where the mascot of the food was the rat.
It was an interesting choice that I never really thought about until when I was much older. I'm like, you guys, why not a kangaroo? Let's do something. I guess they need to like
was it like mouse and the cheese? Was that it?
I don't want my consumer base to be thinking about mice in my food in any connection. It's
so gross.
I will say this. I've seen this in real time. I just did a quick run of cities with Frank Caliendo all through the Midwest, and the comedy clubs, almost, I would say at least half of them are attached to adult video games. A video game kind of, but they're kind of like sexy. So you can take your wife, you can take your kids. I've done comedy shows at breweries. And one time I walked in, I was like, I thought it was a little person at the bar. So I was like, oh, who cares? And then I realized it was an 8-year-old because you're just not thinking. A lot of breweries are family friendly. And somebody that's nostalgic for people our age, where your kids can go run play. You're not worried about them getting snatched, and you can have a couple beers and play a video game you grew up with, Asteroids or whatever. I think this is going to be a huge, huge hit. I can't wait to see where this goes. All right.
Charles E. Cheese. Just really quick, Just Me says if I won the Mega Millions lottery, I'd open up a chain of 60s style retro ice cream parlors. That would be dope. I would immediately go to that.
Okay, this is my question for Just Me. Good idea with ice cream parlors. What are you going to do in states where it's only warm for 3 months a year? Because I'm so down with ice cream.
Maybe hot chocolate?
Are you going to leave your house to get hot chocolate?
There's not a lot to do in the winter, and it'd be nice for sure to have.
I would think you were lying if I was like, Tori, you're 10 minutes late. Where are you? I'm driving to get hot chocolate. I'd be like, she lying. She ain't.
I mean, my dad and I would go to that. Yeah, I had a question too. Is there alcohol at this new ChuckECheese?
I'm assuming there would be. You can't try and get adults anywhere to have a good time and not at least offer beer and wine. I know Dave and Buster's has hard alcohol, but Dave and Buster's is kind of sectioned off like an ice cube tray. There could be like a kids party going on, and then there's some partying and some other rooms. They do a good job with that, but I think the 1-ups and all that kind of, they have. Do they have hard alcohol like the adult one here? 1-Up, the video game.
I don't know. I think so. I've never been, but I think so.
How have you never been?
I know, it sounds like a lot of fun. I never played video games except for like Duck Hunt.
Yes. All right. You said that like you read that off of a note card you had taped to your monitor. Duck Hunt on Nintendo. All right, Tori. Since we're talking about summer, let's talk about summer jobs.
Yes.
I'm very curious to see where these are going to go, because summer jobs used to be babysitting and things like that. But I feel like you'd have to pay a babysitter a lot now.
Yeah. What do you think you pay a babysitter? Like $20 an hour now?
Oh, where are the colleagues at? We need answers. What do you guys think a babysitter would get paid now? I would think they would be 25 an hour.
25 an hour? Yeah. Yeah.
With the tip?
Yeah, I think that's good. 25 an hour. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just throwing that out there. That's a lot of money. That means you've already spent $50 before you've left your house. So let's
Yo,
say you're going to be gone for 4 hours.
totally.
100 plus a tip. That's 130 plus dinner plus Al Jackson's comedy show this weekend at the Cincinnati Funny Bone, July 5th and 6th. Shows at 6:30 to 9 o'clock. Come through.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's a very expensive for a couple to go out.
Yeah, very. But it's also nice to have money being given to young people. What was your very first summer job?
My first summer job was Embassy Suites, where I was a busboy.
That's right.
And I used to get there at 4:30-ish in the morning. You got to kind of set up for the free breakfast buffet, put the milk in the milk dispenser, get yelled at by some businessmen that are already at a 9 and there's no whole milk. You're like, sir, it is 5:02. My friend is getting that milk right now. We need to bring it in. We need to bring it in.
Take it down.
All right. Just me mowed lawns. That's cool. I like jobs where you have like that, where you have a chance to think, plus you're outside.
Yes. The Buddha said, if you're very stressed out, you want to sweep, sweep, sweep. So repetitive motions like mowing lawns can be very meditative, very, very meditative. Julia says she was an usher at the movie theater. I was, if they babies kids 50 an hour. I was a makeup artist.
I didn't think about more than one kid.
Oh. Is that $25 per kid?
I would assume that it's got to be, an AI says 23, but I'm assuming
it's 20. Okay.
And also, they're different kinds of kids. Sometimes, if it's a 9 and 11-year-old, they could start a business. They're fine. Your 9-year-old doesn't need you anymore. It's scary to say. They're grown. But like, if it's like a 12-year-old, like a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old,
yeah,
like that's you need to be working. You need to make sure the 5-year-old's cool and make sure the 3-year-old isn't trying to kill itself. Like it's real. That might be a little bit more than $25 an hour, really.
Do you think that Tori ever babysat? Everybody in the chat, right? Yes or no? Did Tori ever babysit?
Yes, I think he probably babysat your cousins. Okay,
my cousins. Michael Dean says yes, he thinks I babysat. I'm looking for like 1 or 2 more people to find out. Yes, says Marquita Baker. And the answer is a hard no.
No. Never?
No, never once. No. I don't think Emma. Way to go, Emma.
And ELC.
My sister was like the maternal one, and I was like not. So my first job was a makeup artist, but no one taught me. So I just I used the same blush on everyone. It was terrible. But I worked at Blue Mercury.
When people are like, I'm a brown-skinned Black woman, why are you using that? And you're like, I don't see color. Close your eyes.
And it was good. And it was really bad. And I used the same purple eyeshadow on everyone. But I've never babysat. And I think I'd be a really good babysitter because I'm very childlike. I like to play, make believe is cool. But it was that responsible part, get the dinner.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what DoorDash is for now. You know what? If you really do come to this barbecue with me, it's kind of out in the suburbs a little bit in a cul-de-sac, and it's a house, and my friend has a bunch of girls. They're ages, and they're fun, chill girls, but I know they go out, and if you babysit, I could see that happening because they're good. They're good starter girls to babysit.
Okay. Now I will say this: I was a nanny, so that counts.
A nanny.
But the mother was at home the whole time.
No, you weren't a nanny then. A nanny that picks the kids up and cooks.
I didn't do that.
No. What did you do?
We just played and watched some movies.
Were you the same age as the kids? You were just they're my friends, but they call me the nanny.
No, I was a nanny for a little girl whose mom was there but wanted to work from home. And so we would just play. It was really fun.
So the mom was like, I have to be here in body, but my spirit can be emotionally distant. Here's Tori.
And here's me. And I had a good time. We had a lot of make believe, and I'd be like, stay in character. You're a dragon. So,
I could see you being a really great babysitter on the low.
Yeah. And I was paid. Yeah. So that counts. What was your first summer job?
Like I said, mine was a busboy. And then no, technically I think my first job, I worked at a cookie kiosk in the it was in a court down where my dad would practice, and I worked at a place called Shelley's. It was called Shelley's Candies, but she made cookies, and I would sell cookies from 5 in the morning to 6. I don't remember which job came first. I think it was Shelly and then Embassy Suites. But yeah, shout out Shelly. I wonder how she's doing.
Ellie's cookies.
Yes. All right. Tori, we're already out of time. We're 5 minutes over, and I feel like we didn't get to anything yet.
I know, but we did a lot of talking, and I feel like it's important.
Oh, Michael Madsen passed away.
Oh, I didn't know Michael Madsen passed away.
No, what?
Oh,
Oh,
he's a great actor, right? Is he an actor?
Yes.
Okay.
But that.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he died today.
How old was he?
And he was in Kill Bill. He was 67 years old.
That's young.
Yeah. Wow. He's a great actor, great character, great voice.
Yeah, Chicago native. Yeah. How many stars has Chicago cranked out into the universe?
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah. Shout out Michael Madsen, true artist. Tori, do you have your fact of the day? Are you ready?
Yes. Are you guys ready for this?
Hold on, let me get the media asset. Here it is. I'm finding it. Where the hell is it?
This is so good, Al. That was really good. Okay, guys, fact of the day. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Starting yesterday, which was July 2nd, there's two facts. One, yesterday's marked the halfway point of the year. So we have exactly the same amount of time as yesterday as we do from the beginning of January into the rest of 2025. So we are exactly halfway through. But the really interesting part is we are closer now to 2050 than to 2000.
Oh, that's crazy town. That is crazy town.
Isn't that crazy town, you guys? We are closer to 2050 than 2000.
You know where I've started to notice it is like sometimes when you watch a movie and it's like set in the future and it's like 2022 and you're like, what? Yeah, it's the world is like on fire and just all dust. You're like, it's all right.
Good. Yeah, like flying cars. You're like, what? But yeah, 2050. Isn't that crazy?
That like really freaked me out.
Freaks me out. Yeah, that really freaks me out too.
All right, that was a very good fun fact.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So Tori, do you want to say anything to the people before we get out of here?
Just let's be kind to each other, and everyone wish me luck on finding this Jen girl.
Wait, where is she going to meet you?
We were going to meet at Avanti for just like, just to meet up. And I was going to do the whole like, Jen.
All right. We'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching, colleagues. I have nothing to say. It's just so weird. I just have to go. Love y'all. We out.
Love you guys.